It's not been a good few days for Blizzard. Now, it all started with a story that you've probably heard of by now, which was California suing Activision Blizzard over alleged harassment, and they called it frat boy culture, which I hate, because it's literally an attempt to, instead of focusing this on the individuals involved, the particular people, now they're actually trying to spread it out and blame everyone for it. Yeah, this is just a culture among all men. But it's California. What do you expect? Now, we've already done a video on this. Lethal did it a few days ago, so if you're interested in the actual lawsuit involved, you can go and watch that video. But I'm going to focus on the actual fallout which has happened since. And it's weird because Activision and Blizzard... Activision used to basically always have a horrible reputation, but Blizzard was actually quite respected until they started to throw it away on things like this, where they would ban people just for what they said on a stream, or start censoring stupid words in all of their Twitch live streams and Overwatch. And in fact, they didn't just get rid of Blitzchung on this, they got rid of the presenters as well, who didn't do anything. Their only crime was being there when it happened. It was completely over the top, and it was nonsensical, and this means that when actually something comes after you, no one's going to be there to defend you, because you've already attacked them themselves, and that makes people suspicious of your company. And that's what happened here. Anyone that would have gone, look, actually this is a lawsuit, and so we should probably just wait for the lawsuit. We should wait for the evidence to come out, and then we'll actually decide what to do based on the judgments of that lawsuit. That would have been the sensible approach. But instead, everyone was silent because no one was sure. And that means that Activision Blizzard just went straight down and they shut up. They didn't say anything. Radio silence. Yeah, as you can see, all of their posts are on the 21st. They've got the pin post, and then it's the 21st. Overwatch was actually going to release another map, and that got cancelled because everyone knows if you go and launch anything at this point, you're going to get slaughtered. All of your information will come down, and everyone will be roasting you in the tweets below. So it's not surprising they took this tactic. Ex-employees, though, yeah, they had something different in mind. They actually have been coming out in droves, like Chris Metzen. Now, Chris is, can only be called an apology, where he actually admits guilt and says, you have my apologies, where I played a part in the culture that fostered this. Yeah, right, Chris. Now, it really does say that you knew what was going on, because you say you failed. Again, if you didn't know what was going on, your response would be, let's wait for the evidence, let's wait for the court case and see what the results are, because innocent until proven guilty. Let's see who's responsible. But no, you've just admitted guilt here. This is apparently your fault, or at least that's what he says on the first page, because on the second page, he decides that words are cheap and people need to be held accountable, and accountability starts with people. Yes, it does. The individuals that caused it, they need to be held accountable. Completely agree. Although Chris Metz here thinks that all men need to be held accountable, even though it's got nothing to do with them. This is a very specific company, a very specific group of people. Specific individuals among those group of people. But no, all men need to have greater compassion and empathy. This is just the tactic of an incredibly guilty person. Yes, if you are guilty, then what happens is if you can manage to spread your guilt among a wider group of people, you're not going to be held as responsible. And that is exactly what this is. He's trying to spread his guilt over all men. We've seen it before many times, but in this specific case, if he was entirely guilty on his own, then he would receive very negative consequences. But if he goes, it wasn't me, it was everybody, it was a culture, I'm not responsible, everybody is, then everybody takes that little tiny piece of responsibility. And so the backlash on him won't be as severe. It's very transparent, but it's a very common tactic that people do. And quite frankly, they shouldn't be allowed to get away with it. It even goes on later on and says, we have to be present enough to ask them what their experiences are. Yes, just go up to people and ask them if they've been attacked. That'll really make them feel safe and secure. I don't know what on earth you're doing. The only thing that comes across in this is you're just creepy. I don't even know who you are, Chris Manson. I've never read any of your stuff before. I've literally only read this post. But the creepiness radiating about it just means I'm glad I've never met you before, especially in a dark alley somewhere. And the thing is, I'm not even sure I can blame Chris for this, because I don't think he actually wrote this at all. It doesn't actually read like a human being would write it. This is corporate speak. It hits all of the buzzwords that just make you feel like you need a shower after reading it. So I'm not even sure I can blame Chris for this, but honestly, if someone had sent this to me as a PR press release, I would have told him where to go and hired someone new. Now, Nobody liked what Activision had done on either side of the debate, because like I say, no one's on their side in this one. So they had 1,000 current and former Activision employees sign a letter saying that Activision's response to this has been abhorrent and insulting. And when I say 1,000, used to be 1,000, because it's now hit over 1,500. It just keeps raising. And at this point, let's face it, with the amount of people that Activision Blizzard had fired over the last few years just so they could give all of their bosses pay rises, I'm surprised they've got 1,500 people they can find to sign this. Although if it's ex-employees, then yeah, at this point, that's quite a lot. And it turns out that they're just not getting work done at the company at this point. The quartering has spoke, they're actually talking about walking out. But really, according to Jeff Hamilton, World of Warcraft team already isn't doing any work. Which is weird, considering they're supposed to be at work. But apparently, I don't know, maybe they're just in discussions with the higher-ups about what on earth to do and how on earth they can get around this mess which has been created. But they're actually apparently talking about complete strike action, but it seems like they're already on a no-slow on World of Warcraft. And you can see actually in the end of his text, he says not the players and not the shareholders are being benefited by this, which is just he's desperately out for allies, because if he can get the players annoyed at the company, they might take action. But if he can get the shareholders, the real money people involved, then yes. This post is literally just an attempt to try and force them to get more force on, which, honestly, I don't think is the right course of action. I'm still for we've got a court case, it's had an investigation. Let's see them present it, let's see them present evidence, and then we'll decide afterwards. But really, I don't have a dog in this fight, because I don't care if anything happens to Activision Blizzard after the way they've treated their players, their games, and everything else. As you can see, I used to be a big Overwatch fan. Yeah, you lost me a long time ago. Now, Jeff Hamilton, the worst thing about this is how people have used all of this for their own agendas. They've all tried to force their own opinions onto other people and try and make change in the way they think it should be done. Because God forbid we actually just focus on the individuals. No, never let a good disaster go to waste, as they say, and Jeff Hamilton certainly isn't going to let it go to waste. Is why he's done this. Instead, he's tried to now get his moral view across to people. He's telling people that they need to unlearn that they're good people. Yes, re-education. That's always been used by the best people in history. That's always gone well. And for anyone that doesn't get that, yes, that's sarcasm. I shouldn't need to say it, but in this day and age, who knows? So, he's actually said, you should not think of yourself as a good person. And to all that, Jeff, all I can say is speak for yourself, and you may not be a good person, but if you are not a good person, you probably shouldn't be trying to re-educate everyone else on morality, so sod off. And this is a situation that just got messier and messier as time goes on. No one took the sensible approach, which was literally, let's wait and see for the court case. They've done an investigation, they've built a court case, and they've sued. This is in the court system. It can go through the court system, and then we can find out. We can have a judgment based on actual evidence. That would have been the same response. But instead, no. All the journalists and everyone else came out. All of social media blew up, and everyone's just trying to get pressure. That's all this is about, pressure. And everyone was lost. The individuals were lost. The people involved were lost. This became a wider thing. No, it's about men. No, it's about the culture. No, it's about the entire company. When it isn't. If this is all true, if all of the allegations are true, then all this is a few specific individuals at a company. And that is what you can find out in the court case. Those are the people that can have evidence brought against them. And then we can wait and see. That would have been the sensible approach, though. Far too sensible for Twitter. Instead, everyone's got to come out. We've got to have judgments. People have got to be fired instantly before anything's ever done. And that's just the wrong approach. It's not fair. It's not moral. It's not just. And I am not a fan of Activision Blizzard, but literally lumping in groups of people just on generalized characteristics is wrong, and it shouldn't be done on Blizzard, Activision, or anybody else. And that's all I've seen from this. Everyone wants quick action. Nobody wants to actually wait for proof. Nobody wants to wait to see justice delivered. I'm not saying people shouldn't be held accountable. I'm saying that the right individuals should be held accountable, not entire groups of people, not entire corporations or entire cultures. This is very easily used and twisted for a message, and it shouldn't be, because it's wrong, and that is why it gets messy. And this entire attitude of we should make judgments before we actually know what on earth has happened is only being made by literally the worst people involved. And you don't want those people making decisions. So as far as I'm concerned, everyone should hold off. Let calmer heads prevail and let's see justice done. Let's see the evidence presented and then let's make an informed decision. And until that happens, really, all this pontificating on Twitter and trying to get people fired is just, it's a really bad look. But for now, that's it from me. If you like the video, press like and subscribe for more videos in the future, and let me know what you think of the entire horrible situation down in the comments below. But for now, that's it from me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.